Welcome, everybody. Welcome to CGR episode
What up?
9 for Thursday, February 20th, 2020. I'm your hostess with the mostest, GMillion, and I'm here with.
With the motherfucking beast. This is Hexzilla, the motherfucking game killer, and we back at it with another episode. I want to welcome you guys to the podcast. If you're not familiar with it, this is the podcast where we talk about everything under the sun that has to do with games. I want to shout out to everybody in our community group, everyone in our Discord. We appreciate the support. We're gonna continue to do this every Tuesday and Thursday. Funny fact, Gary, this is actually our first Discord episode,
I
and
know, because
so
your ass was too lazy to get your ass down
yeah,
here.
too lazy to make it there. But hey, this is gonna be the norm, so I hope you guys are gonna get accustomed to this. It's gonna be a lot better, a lot aesthetically better. We're gonna do a lot of things, but for now, this is how we're gonna do it, just because of we wanted to get the episode out in a timely manner. So
Right, and
yeah,
plus me having a 100-degree fever doesn't help either.
yep, not trying to get the coronavirus and that shit.
Well, just don't drink any Corona, and then you're good.
Exactly, Modelo fool. You already know. It's like nah,
Yeah, just
but
just go straight to the Guinness.
go straight to Guinness. But I want to welcome you guys to the radio. For all of you guys, everyone that's new and improved in this thing, we want to welcome you guys. Today we're talking about a very, very, very anticipated, I guess is the best way to put it, subject, right? And we're talking about what are our most anticipated games of 2020. As you know, right? I think 2020 is going to be a historical time for gaming, and
What makes you say that?
the reason I say that, my friend, is because just look at everything that's going on in gaming right now. We have a new gen console coming out. Um, even if it's not gonna be anytime this year, it's still gonna be in development this year. And you know what that means? That means that a lot of developers and a lot of publishers are gonna be looking at the new gen consoles, and so the future of gaming is gonna depend on this year's games, right? So I'm super excited about that. We have a lot of new games coming out, a lot of AAA console games coming out. We're gonna talk about that a little bit in the episode, and we have a lot of content to put out. So I'm super excited about that. I think it's going to be a game changer this year for the gaming industry. You know what I mean?
I guess so. I guess whatever you say goes. I'm just along for the ride. I just want to go
There's a
back
lot
to
for the
sleep with my
ride.
Nyquil. Let's
Yep. But
all
let's get
jokes
into this,
aside, I'm
man.
I'm ready for this episode. So
I'm
I
ready
got
for this
my
too.
I got my Destiny 2 water.
I got my
Uh,
college water.
whatever.
Shout out to
Use your
Maka
college
College.
water.
Yep. And we about to do this. So, hey, man, let's jump into this, all right?
All right.
So, first thing, guys, if you don't know, now you're gonna know. In the words of Biggie Smalls, if you don't know, now you know. Um, we're gonna be starting I'm gonna be starting my official YouTube content after February 28th. So I anticipate my first video to be March 2nd, March 3rd. So look out for that. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on my Discord and on all my platforms. If you don't know, check the description on this video. It's gonna be in the description. I am going to start posting content. A lot of it this month is going to be post reviews, post game related. And the reason I'm doing that is because a lot of these games are coming out after April. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But until then, for the month of March and a little bit in the month of April, I'm going to be doing post reviews. I already know off the top, just so you guys can get a little incentive. I'm going to be doing Red Dead 2. I'm gonna go over Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I am gonna go over Resident Evil 2 Remastered. Those are gonna be my top 3 games this month or next month. So look out for that. I'm gonna be doing a review, full gameplay walkthrough, and commentary, and possibly some online gameplay, especially for Modern Warfare. I will be doing a little bit of live streaming and online gameplay. So look out for that. What you got going on, Gary?
Well, what I got going on is figuring out my Go XLR. I bought the cable, my replacement cable, because the one I bought earlier was the wrong cable. So I got this one in today. But guess what? This cable's broken. So
They done fucked up.
they did fuck me over. So now I have to wait on a new cable, and they want me to return this one. It's a freaking
Yeah,
$6 cable, and they want me to waste my time and return it.
fucking up, guys. But
Yeah,
hey,
I could be I
I've
could
seen
be
your
using my microphone with an XLR cable by now. But
yeah.
no, I'm stuck using the USB part only.
Yeah, but I do gotta say, I've seen your XLR
Go
in
XLR?
person. the Go XLR, and that thing is fucking beautiful. Um, I'm excited for you to get that going because I know that shit is gonna help out a lot. So I am. That thing is dope.
Thank
That
you,
thing is
thank
really
you,
dope.
thank you.
But let's jump into this, man. Let's get to the nitty gritty of this motherfucker. We're gonna jump into this right now.
All right.
So the first thing, right? We're talking about the top three, and I want to know the top three anticipated games of 2020 for you. Go ahead, shoot them out. What's your top three right now?
Oh man, game number one, Persona 5, The Royal.
Persona 5,
The
guys.
Royal. I beat the first
I
one
know you.
in 2018, I believe.
Yep.
I demolished that game. I started it, then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to set this thing aside. A year later, I started it again, demolished it, and I saw a 5-minute trailer of a lot of the new content in the game.
Right.
It's a remake if you really
It's
think about it.
technically a remake,
Yeah, it's a remake
but
with a bunch of new stuff in it. But I'm excited. I love Persona games and I love Persona 5. Except for
yep.
Morgana, I hate that cat.
But
But
you know what? I know for you that's a big thing, and I know you're definitely gonna do a lot of content on that. I'm actually looking forward to that too. It's not on my list, but I have seen the trailer. I have seen some of the developers' comments on it and what they're gonna do with it. I'm super excited about that game as well.
it's a
Shit, I
turn-based
might jump into
RPG.
it myself.
Are you going to be okay with it?
Hell yeah, I'll probably jump into it myself. You know what I
All
mean?
right.
I'll probably play the past personas and jump into it. And that might be one of the things I do because I did want to get into that game. It looks really cool, and I like the whole aesthetic of everything. So I definitely want to try that out. But that's a dope game. What's number two, man?
Number 2, we're going to stick with Japanese. Final Fantasy 7 the remake.
Remaster. Yeah,
Yeah,
hell
the
yeah.
I beat Final Fantasy 7 a long time ago when I was a kid, about 20 years ago. I bought the game for the PC when it
Yep.
came
I
out for
think
the
that's
PC.
every gamer that's in their 20s or 30s say the same exact thing, man.
Yeah. Then when I got my PlayStation 1, I rebought that game for the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation 1 version is a lot better, especially with the music wise, and I loved Final Fantasy 7, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the new one. I heard
Right.
it's going to be 3 episodes, but I guess the really important episode is episode 1 because the Midgar story is really good.
And it's a classic. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what it one of
it's
the most
classic.
known. And
They made a turn-based RPG into a action RPG.
that's
So
exactly what I was gonna hit on. I think for me, that's the most exciting part. Is I want to see how they correlate from turn based to action platformer essentially, and it looks dope. The graphics look amazing, especially on this generation console. I'm just excited to see where they take it. You know what I mean?
so they made Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. Technically, that is a prequel for the PlayStation Portable. That they made that into an action RPG, and that game was one of the best games for the PlayStation Portable. So,
Yeah,
and you could play that on a PSP emulator on the PC. So, it's not like
yeah,
I'm like starving for that game right now.
yeah.
And man, if I have to pick one more game, it would be Cyberpunk 2077.
Hell yeah. Why is
Um,
that?
because mainly I want to see Cyberpunk. I mean, I want to see CD Projekt Red's first take on a sci-fi adventure game or a sci-fi action game with
Hell
Keanu
yeah.
Reeves.
And you know
Because
what, man?
they did a lot of high fantasy games with the
Right.
Witcher series, and I want to see their take on sci-fi. So,
Yeah, and you know what? We're gonna jump into the cyberpunk, because that we can knock out two birds with one stone in this case. So we'll jump into cyberpunk, and then I'll tell you my other two. But let's talk about cyberpunk a little bit. So CD Project Red, right?
right.
They're very well known for their Witcher series, which is one of the most acclaimed fantasy games of their time. They've got 10 out of 10 on multiple gaming facets, and they're a very good contender for one of the best games of the last decade, really. And so I'm excited to see what they do because coming from, like you said, high fantasy, almost medieval type of genre going into full blown futuristic RPG platforming shooter is just immense. And keep in mind, with Cyberpunk, it's an RPG game that's going to have 6 districts. So imagine when I talk about districts, I'm essentially talking about 6 maps that are all combined to create the full Cyberpunk game, right?
Right.
So you already know 6 maps, large. It's gonna have multiple side missions, multiple quests, multiple main missions. There's gonna be character development. There's gonna be upgrades. There's gonna be a loot system. There's gonna be an upgrade system. It's gonna be crazy, man. I'm excited for that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's coming out in September, so we have plenty of time to beat all the other role playing games that are on my plate. So,
yeah.
and
It was
some
initially
honorable mentions before I move on.
yeah,
Resident Evil 3 and Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. Don't get me wrong, all 6 of those games are gonna be great, but it's just those 3 games right now are the ones I'm thinking about the most. So,
yeah. And talking about those two, those are actually my other two. We'll jump into the next one, Last of Us 2. So I want to say real quick. So first of all, if there's one company that I can trust and depend on that won't fucking kill us with microtransactions, Bethesda, it had to be Naughty Dog. And I say that because I mean, look at their resume. I mean, Last of Us 2, right? Or sorry, Last of Us 1. Let's look at the first one. That game was a game of the year for 2013. It got 10 other awards that year, some of them being the best overall action and adventure game in 2013, and then having the best overall sound in 2013. The character development in that game was bar none to any other game. The character models in that game were beautiful. If you look at the game now, even the remaster, which was released in 2014, if you look at the remaster, it can hold up to graphics now, and it's not necessarily the best graphically, but it really holds up on its own. And I'm excited to see what Last of Us does. They didn't. They left Last of Us in a pretty big cliffhanger. If you guys don't know, I'm not gonna spoil it, but they left us on a pretty big cliffhanger. And there's a lot of questions to be answered. There's a lot of things that we want to see with the character. There's a lot of development that we're looking forward to. And I know for a fact that this game is not one of the best games of the year. It will be Game of the Year 2020. So I'm excited about that one. What do you think about it?
I think it's going to be a good game. My problem with The Last of Us, it was such a good game that once you beat it once, you're satisfied.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. They have such a high bar right now. It can
so,
either go really well or ultimately shit.
like, I beat the first one on the PS3, and I had no reason to go back to it. Even now, I don't have a reason to go back to it.
Yeah, it's a very linear storyline. It doesn't have. It's not much of a. It's not much of an expanding storyline. It's very linear, very one path. So I do agree with that. If you haven't though, you should definitely. Have you played the DLC? Last of Us DLC.
Yeah, I beat it on the PS4. When I
Yeah,
got the remastered, that's when I picked up the DLC.
yeah. So that one right there was a great game as well. That's like another 3-4 hours of DLC gameplay right there. If you guys haven't played that, it kind of expands on Ellie's story a little bit. Not to spoil it again for you guys, but it does expand on her story. It expands on her relationship with certain characters, and it gives us a little more insight on Ellie before that or during the initial outbreak. In her younger years. So,
Right.
if you guys haven't played that, you should definitely try that out before you jump into this next one. But I do agree with that. The game is very linear in essence. Um, but I
So,
do think that this time around, I know they're gonna have some type of multiplayer, or they have to, because if not, it just doesn't make sense that they wouldn't. But I know their multiplayer is gonna be exceptional, and I do know that from what I've read a little bit, The Last of Us 2 is gonna be more. They're gonna give you a lot more freedom. It's not gonna be as linear this time around. Now it's not a free roam open world game, but it will allow you to do certain things in the way that you want to do it. So
so according
maybe this will alleviate a little bit.
according to the preview, you have the freedom to do a little bit more stuff. Like
Right.
when you're in enemy encounters, you have a little bit more freedom to do that.
Yeah.
And so and I forgot
And
what I was
another
gonna
thing,
say
some other
earlier.
things about that game, by the way, just so you guys understand, you got so Last of Us 2, the AI is gonna be immensely harder. They already said it. So the clickers are gonna be extremely harder. If you guys don't know these terms, you'll learn it, or play Last of Us 1, you'll get it. The clickers are
So
gonna be
so
extremely
you're gonna
harder than
play
they
as
are.
Grounded, right?
Probably. And I'm gonna fucking die a lot. So but yeah, I am
Okay,
gonna
I'll
play it
hold
on
you to it.
Yeah, I am gonna play it on grounded, but like I said, clickers are gonna be harder. The runners are gonna be harder. They're gonna add a lot more AI to the runners, as in like Last of Us One, a runner comes at you and they attack you, you fight them, you shoot them, whatever. This time around, there's gonna be different types of runners, and some are gonna be a lot faster. Some are gonna be, depending on how you approach them, a lot slower. Things like that. They are going to add a lot more weapons, or a lot varied weapons. They're going to have the same loot system that they had.
Hmm.
They're also going to have the same weapon upgrade system that they had, but they're going to expand on it. So I know this go around, this Last of Us 2, I think that they're going to do a great job making it not as linear as they did with the first one, but still having the same quality of gameplay, because it was an amazing game.
As long as they have a great gameplay and a great story, I'm good.
Yep, that's the check in my books right there. All right, and then we're gonna jump to the last one, which kind of like Garrett said, Resident Evil 3 Remastered. Now, I haven't. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have not played Resident Evil 2 Remastered. I have played Resident Evil 2 on the original platform, which was I think it was the PS1 at the time. Um, I had played that one a long time ago, and I don't even remember it. I don't even remember the game, to be honest. So it was like I was young as fuck, but I did play that. That was in 1998. So this time around, Resident Evil 2 Remastered, I'm gonna jump on that as one of the post reviews that I'm gonna do, and post gameplays. But they are coming with the Resident Evil 3. That game is actually gonna come out. It's released for April 3rd, 2020. That's gonna be on all platforms: PS4, PC, and Xbox. So that's something we're definitely looking forward to. That's a game by Capcom. If you guys don't know, Capcom is the original publishers of the Resident Evil series, and the initial release date of, like I said, of Resident Evil 3 original, I think it was Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, was on September 22nd of 1999. So that gap right there, you already know the graphically. I mean, it's kind of like Final Fantasy. We're talking about a game with the graphic style of Final Fantasy being played on a next gen console. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're gonna come out. So they're gonna be. It's a survival horror game. Resident Evil 2 was released in January 25th of last year. That game was extremely good from the reviews that I've seen. I am gonna review it, like I said, and then we're gonna jump right into Resident Evil 3, and I'm super pumped about this one because that game gives me the fucking creeps, man. It really does.
Well, that's
But
good. I
but
want you to be
for a survival
scared.
horror game, I think it does the job. I think it just does the job extremely good. So I'm super excited about that. This episode is gonna be super short, guys. But what I want you guys to do, go ahead and comment what you want us to. What are your guys' most anticipated games for 2020? I want to know, and why. Why do you guys want to play those games? The last question I want to jump into, man, is so what other games are you anticipating? I can tell you right now, for myself, I'm super excited about Dying Light 2. If you guys haven't played that game, it's a zombie parkour horror game as well. Platformer, shooter, RPG, the whole nine. It has the same developers as what's the name of that game? Forgot the
Dead
name of the
Island.
game. Yeah, Dead Island. The same developers from Dead Island. Um, actually, is fun. This is actually a fact. So when they made Dead Island, the developers of that game actually branched off to create their own, which is Dying Light,
Well, yeah.
because of creative,
Differences.
uh, differences. Yeah, and then they created Dying Light. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. Now this go around, Dying Light is it's gonna be a game where your decisions impact the overall game, and so every decision you make is gonna impact the map, your enemies, how they react to you, your alliances, all that good shit. It's gonna be dope. Another game that I'm looking forward to, apart from Dying Light, is like you said, Ghost of Tsushima, and I know that one's gonna be crazy. I mean, I've seen the trailers. It was released at E3. Everyone is hyped up about it. It's gonna be dope. What about you, man? What are some other games that you're thinking of?
Well, other side games, like games that are coming out that may look good. Man, I don't know. Probably nothing really.
I mean, for all you Nintendo fans, you have Animal Crossing to look forward to. They
Oh
are
yeah,
coming out
Animal
in this month,
Crossing.
so
That's
that's
pretty
another
much it
one
for Nintendo fans.
for Nintendo fans for now. But we're looking at, like I said, Ghost of Tsushima, all those games. I mean, those are really the main ones right now that I'm looking forward to. Dying Light. I can't really think of other ones. I mean, there are some other side games or talks of games, but I would have to say. By the way, Dying Light 2. There's not a release date yet, from what I know, so I don't know when it's going to be released. I know it's going to be sometime in 2020. We just don't know when yet, so make sure you guys keep your eyes out for that. But when it does come, I am going to review that for sure, and I'll be doing a full gameplay review on that.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
Hell yeah! So, hey, like I said, guys, go ahead and post down in the comments what you want to see next, and tell us what are your 3 anticipated games. What are your top games this year? Um, you got anything else to add, man?
Nothing else really. I'm just gonna rest up and feel better by next week. You probably won't see a lot of content from me until next Tuesday because my fever and my doctor says I'm gonna have a cough coming up soon.
Yeah, fucking
So
100-degree fever, man.
yep. So that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna
Should be
be
a
out
good
of work
time.
for a week too, so
Yeah, you're gonna be
that's
pretty
stressful.
pretty fucked up, man. But hey, we're excited. It's gonna be a big year for us at Console Gaming Radio. We're gonna continue to post content. Like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you that watches our videos, gives
Hmm.
us feedback,
Yep.
and gives us all of that, the views and all this love. We appreciate you guys, and we're gonna continue to push it out there.
And another thing before
Uh,
we go, we are implementing Discord like right now. So any guest, we are actively looking for guests,
that's
and
right.
I have some people in mind. I need to reach out to them. So just keep that in mind. I think guests will probably be once a week for now,
Yeah.
so we could really get the system down for them. So
Yep. So if you're an upcoming gamer and you're watching us and you want to go ahead and be on our show, go ahead and hit up GMillion on his YouTube or hit him up on his any of his social media. We're
mainly,
looking forward to
yeah, Discord.
mainly
Find me on
Discord.
Discord, and we'll talk
Right.
from there.
We'll talk from there. But anyways, we appreciate you guys. This is CGR. This is Hexzilla, motherfucking game killer, and peace out. Oh, by the way, all of our descriptions and all of our
All
social
our
media
social media is in the
stuff
description.
in the description. Right. See you guys next week.
Peace.